right. Believe we are indeed live. See here. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. Um. All right, I'm about to run the intro. We're gonna get into this. Get it done.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'm the godfather of this shit. Call me Corleone, I get you in. And I'm shooting shit like Scorsese. Get you whacked, ain't nobody made me. I'm the godfather of this shit. Godfather. And you ain't gon' sell me like a bitch. Godfather. Corleone, Corleone. Shoot me. Like Scorsese. Ain't nobody made me. I ain't no bitch.
Welcome back to Championship Rounds. It's your boy Marcel Pierre, per usual, and you know I got my big bro here, big bro Marquel. Say what's up to the people. What's up, big bro? Are you happy to be back?
Yeah. Took a long time. What's good? What's good, people? Yes, sir.
You know, a lot has been moving around in the world of boxing and mixed martial arts, and I'm chomping at the bit to break it down with you. It's been a while. We should have went at 10 o'clock today. You know, had some audio issues, got it worked out. We're here. How's life been treating you, big bro, before we tackle all this news?
It's been good, man. Ain't nothing much changed, man. Same days, doing the same shit, trying to add in the workout routine. You know what I'm
Ain't nothing
saying?
changed but the chain. Oh.
Yeah.
Or
Ain't nothing
whatever the
changed but
whatever.
time, man.
Yeah, or whatever the Miko said. But anyways, bro, let's go ahead and jump into this. We got boxing first on the dais, and one Teofimo Lopez. You know, he is definitely in the news. He is a big player right now. The ball is proverbially in his court to decide what he wants to do next. Let me set the table for you, bro, and just ask you a few questions regarding one the takeover, Teofimo Lopez. You know, he beat Vasil Lomachenko. And then he stumbled against George Kambosos Jr., had people thinking maybe he was a flash in the pan, especially after his two subsequent fights after Kambosos. He didn't look too great. Well, he gets in there with former unified champion Josh Taylor, whom had all the belts at 140 and gave up one of them because he didn't want to pay him that percentage per his fight. And Teofimo takes him out, and he takes out another unified champion, unifying another belt in a different weight class, calling himself one of the greatest. People didn't. Teo was the underdog. I put money on Teo. I cashed. I did.
That's what's up.
And people thought, oh, Teo's got the domestic violence, or I don't know if it was domestic violence, but he's got some shit going on in his head, his baby mamas and things of that nature. They didn't see him in the right headspace coming into this fight. Well, he shocked the world. He shocked the world and put on a damn clinic against Josh Taylor. What do you think this means for Teo?
Well, it means a lot. It means that he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. And that means that he can get into a couple money fights, but he's probably going to deal with his off out of the ring issues, like his divorce. I think that's why he's saying he's retired, because he ain't trying to split that money up. So he's dealing with that, getting that all finalized. Talking about he wants, what do you say, 90 million or 100 million or something like that. He threw out a
Something
bullshit
absurd.
number. Yeah, he threw that out. So won't nobody hiring right now. So it's just, he's playing chess. He's also playing chess in the ring. You know what I'm saying? He's looking good. He could be the guy to beat right now, man. I'm not saying that it's a hard task, but you know that belt's looking pretty good right now. Some people might gun for that.
Well, I mean, everybody wants the belts. When you have the belts signify that you're the best in the division, especially if you got all of them. And that's what everybody's looking to do in every division right now, is unify all those belts. And we're going to get to some other unification possibilities as we see Teofimo landing clean on Josh Taylor.
Yeah,
and Josh Taylor being,
it was a clinic. It was one of his best fighting performances he's had in a very long time, man.
Actuals. Was it an off night for Taylor, or was it just Teofimo and his athleticism and his ability, big bro?
I think people underestimate Teo. I really think they do, man. They think his mouth talks too much shit and he can't back it. Then he gets in the ring. He shows a little bit more speed than they thought he had. He's got a little bit more power than they thought he probably had. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was a joke too. No, I'm not going to sit there and lie. I thought he was soft. But looking at him, it's like, yo, it's more to that package than what he's presenting, man. You know, he's giving people a false sense of security in that ring, and he's taking mad advantage of it.
100%. Not to mention, Teo was recently in the news with some controversial words, so to speak, where he doesn't think the network appreciates him, and he's saying, you know, if they want to have their black fighters, they can keep their black fighters. You know, and obviously Teo is in. You could say the Loma fight's probably bigger than the Taylor fight, obviously, for what it meant at the time, but it's still a humongous fight and a humongous feat that Teo, you know, accomplished on fight night. Yeah. And I did want to cut to Teo and what he had to say in the post-fight scrum, and I want to break that down with you as well. So let's get to that right now.
I like the impossible because there's less competition there. 25 years young, 7-time world champion, 2-time lineal world champion, 2 divisional world champion. I mean, 2 Hall of Fame careers in one at just 25. You can't tell me I'm not great. You cannot tell me I'm not the double greatest since Muhammad Ali. This is what I do. This is what I do best. Now, just to steer it up, I might retire after this fight.
That's one. You have the 2 Ring Magazine belts.
I know they ain't want to give me the other one.
You have the 2 magazine.
But I got Joe Cesar Laquito back there, and I know he gonna give me that belt. Huh? Retirement, man. I'm kind of tired. Nah, I'm not getting paid enough. $1 million? Get the fuck out of here.
So what do you think about those words uttered by Teofimo Lopez teasing retirement, calling himself the greatest fighter since Muhammad Ali? Now that's a big, bold statement, but Muhammad Ali said he was the greatest, and then everybody caught on to it. And, you know, you can't sit here and tell me Muhammad Ali has had the greatest career there ever was, but he said he was the greatest, and so did everybody else. Everybody followed suit. So, big bro, with that being said, what do you think about Teo's words? Do you think it's just leverage he's trying to get now that he's won the fight, now that he's got the belts, did what everybody thought he couldn't? Or do you or you think he's just trying to get paid, or do you think the retirement's legitimate? That's the question.
Like I said before, I think the retirement is having to deal with his out of the ring activities with his wife. He ain't trying to split all that money. As for 2, all fighters say they're the greatest. They think they're the greatest, think they're the best. It's an ego thing. He needs to say that. If he believes that, he should say that. That's all I'm saying. So I don't have a problem with guys saying that they're the greatest. It doesn't matter. Your accolades are your accolades. You know what I'm saying? But he tried it the right way to make money. He's not making money. He's not a fighter that people are flocking to see. And he's going to have to change up his approach to the game. Everybody's figuring out, well, maybe I'm going to have to go the Money Mayweather route and make everybody hate me so I can make more money. You know what I mean? And that's his route. There's some people that are ducking, people that don't want to see him, but he's ducking people too. So it's all a game. It's a publicity stunt to get money, publicity stunt, to fucking get his name, Revan. You know what I'm saying? People clicking in, getting the clickbaits. It's all games, man. You know what I mean? It's all games. But his retirement and him saying that he's retired, it does. I think it has to deal with the court shit that he's going through right now. It's probably a smart move for him.
Right. We'd be fools to not think that was that didn't play somewhat of a factor. I'm going to close out before we get to the next segment by saying this. Everything Teofimo Lopez gets after this fight, after winning that championship fight, he deserves it. People say, "Oh, well, he's got a bad relationship with his pops. You know, he's always in his ear. Oh, he's got some problems at home with his significant other." You know, that is not something that is uncommon with great boxers. I mean, look at Tank Davis. Look at Floyd Money Mayweather. And I don't need to sit here and catalog it. Right. Yeah. And I don't need to sit here and catalog it, but I will say this. These fighters, they have the ability to turn it on when the going gets tough, when the lights are the brightest. They can put the things that they have outside of the squared circle aside and handle their damn business. Yes, Teofimo Lopez didn't look great in his last two fights. Well, those opponents weren't opponents that would get him up like a Josh Taylor, like a unified championship fight. Big ups to Teofimo Lopez. He showed that he's still that guy and still a major player in or around 140 pounds. Now, speaking of in around 140 pounds, big bro, the next person I want to talk to you about is one Rolando Romero. So everybody wants to fight this guy. Like Romero's like the hot commodity right now. Everybody's like, oh, well, he can sell some tickets. I mean, if somebody knocking you out and making you famous was a person, it's Rolly Romero. It's got to be. I mean, at this point, right? I mean, Rolly Romero gets in there with an old man Barroso. And, you know, people were making comments. They had their snide comments. They were saying, oh, like, how old is this guy? I mean, big bro, what did you think about that fight when they put that fight on? You see this old man on the poster and you're asking yourself, you know, how old is this guy? Who is this guy? And then you see how the fight plays out. Just what were your thoughts about that booking?
That booking was exactly what it was supposed to be. It was to put that guy in a belt, to put him in a belt because his mouth is what drew the Tank fight. His mouth sold Rolly Romero. Like it wasn't his skill, it wasn't nothing else. It was his mouth. Now you put that mouth with a belt. You got Adrian Brony Part 2 minus the skills.
Don't bury the lead. Don't bury the lead. We're gonna get to that.
I don't know what your leads are, but I'm just saying he's got the mouth of Brony or a Broner and no skill, but he can sell a ticket. You know what I'm saying? And it's a free belt. So whoever he fights, whether it's Garcia, Teofimo, Devin Haney, whoever fights him, they're getting the belt. It's a free belt plus a decent payday. That's what that is. And they knew that when they put the belt on him. They knew exactly what they were doing. They told him to keep it close. The judge is going to give you the fight. And he couldn't even keep it close. And now they're like, hey, cash this kid out. He's done. He's done. And this is what it is, man. Everybody knows it's a money grab plus a belt. It's a free belt, bro. It's almost like getting the belt mailed to you like Devin Haney got.
Let's not even go there, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and listen to any Devin Haney slander. He's the unified world champion of the world, and he just solidified it even further by taking out Loma. But I'm not gonna go on a tirade because
I'm just saying, Daddy not get a belt mailed to him.
I could. If anybody if anybody had a belt mailed to him, it's Tank Davis because everybody knows the real champion is Devin Haney. But again, we're not gonna go there. Cash grab, you say? I think the cash is more important than the money, but it is a stay busy fight. And one person that had eyes on that Barroso versus Romero fight was one Ryan Garcia, and he wasn't too happy about the outcome of that. He tweeted out, he said, "Wow, you know what I mean? That was dirty. The fight was stopped way too early." I tend to agree that the fight was stopped too early. And then after the fight, he then went and doubled down, you know, and said, you know, let's go. This is for Barroso. So he's calling him out. King Ryan's calling him out. And I don't know if you saw this, but one. You brought him up, Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner had a fight against a damn lawyer and had this to say afterwards.
Well, it was everything I wanted, but it wasn't everything I needed. Right now, I need some pussy.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Okay. All right, before we get to that, who do you want next in the ring?
TMI.
Hey, man, listen, man. This is my first time on Don King pay-per-view, so I gotta give it to y'all. Anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans. No disrespect to no law firm out there, but attorney just got it. Anybody can get it.
Is there nobody special that you like that you're asking for or looking for? Anyone with the title?
Anybody with the title. I see, what's his name? Romello? Retardo? What's his name? Rolly. Oh, Rolly. Shit. I like the winner of Tiafimo and Josh Taylor and whoever else got the belt. I want all the belts. I don't just want a Louis belt or Gucci belt. I want the WBA belt and WBO belt, WBC belt and IBF belt too.
Well, you heard you heard those words by Adrian Broner, and some are saying like that this fight has to be made and that it'll break the internet. Do you have an appetite for Romero Broner, big bro?
Yeah, it's going to be a trash ass fight, and whoever wins that fight can fight the real fighters. You know what I mean? And give the belt. I think this fight has to be made before they both get embarrassed by somebody. It's a clown fight, bro. It's the king of the shit talking. Bro, can you imagine a press conference of them sitting there talking shit about what goes on in the gym? Tank knocking him out, him getting knocked out. He ain't shit. He got fat. Dude, that'll be some of the greatest shit talking we've seen in a long time. And then it's gonna be a shit fight. Let's be real. The fight is not gonna be that fucking good, bro. We know that.
Do you think that Romero is a target by these big names in boxing because he talks, he generates buzz, but they just saw him get set on his ass by an old man? Do you think that's also a factor as to why they're calling this guy out, whom has showed skill, has showed heart, but has showed that he's not that fucking polished?
If Romero didn't have this belt, nobody gave a fuck about him. Let's just be real. This belt in his mouth is an easy paycheck. That's all this is about. If he didn't have the belt, Ryan wouldn't give a damn about fighting him. Nobody cared about fighting him. But
Right.
Because he's got the belt, he's got a mouth that's a paycheck. And it's a pay-per-view fight because it's a belt. And it's Romero. And people want to see him get his ass whooped.
Do you want to see him get his ass whooped?
Honestly, bro, I could still go to sleep if he didn't. To me, I think he's a joke. I think he could have been good. I think what they're putting in his head is making him worse than what he is. He has not established any boxing skills. He's got power. He has no technique. He's young. He can still learn something. He's got a bad guy. Bullets is not that good of a coach. He's basically pumping his boy's ego up, and his kids out there sounding stupid. I would have told him to shut his mouth, stay in the fucking gym. But no, this is what they're doing. This is how they want to sell this kid. So it is what it is. Sorry, Romero. You got the wrong people in your corner, bro.
I'll end it with this. For all intents and purposes, Romero is out there to make money. He's one of the youngest fighters that there is to ever headline a pay-per-view. I know Tank Davis was the A side, but right now he's got a belt on him. Although it was a controversial stoppage with old man Barroso, he won the fight. And when you go and look at his Wikipedia page, you'll see the fucking green right next to that fight. That being said, he's like a target to guys out there with names because they know that Romero is a fight that the fans will care about. The build-up will be nice.
Yep.
This is prize fighting, people. The belts, the trinkets are nice, but it's about the money. It's about the money. So hate or love the matchups, hate or love the call-outs, it makes sense. Romero is a hot commodity in boxing right now. And with that being said, we're going to go to the guy that made him famous. Tank Davis is behind bars. Yes, the man violated his probation. You know, they gave him a soft pat on the ass to begin with, and he said, "What the hell? I'm not even gonna abide by that. Go ahead and lock me up. I'll serve the rest of my sentence as in the custody of the state or whatever it is." What's your
You
thoughts
know
on
what he
that, big
did,
bro?
right? I just think he thought he was above the law. He went to Miami, got
Miami.
a fucking he buy out the hotel, the top floor or some shit like that. So he was basically up in the whole hotel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think in a way, I think he knew what he was doing. I think he just felt like he was above the law, and he didn't check with it, and they called up to him, so he's just going to do the time and get it over with. He does it this way. He doesn't pay much money. He doesn't have to do all this other shit. You know what I mean? So he's out when he's out. It went to his head, bro. It is what it is, man. Floyd did time. Tyson did time. Now he's doing time. I'm not comparing him to them, but it's just like, it is what it is. When he gets out, that fight is going to be a mega fight. Tyson got out, mega fight. Floyd got out, mega fight.
It's almost boosting their street cred, huh?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's boosting your street cred because you went to the slammer. But what did you do to get in there? Does that ain't boosting your street cred?
No.
Domestic violence, hitting a pregnant like come on, bro. That is not going to boost your street cred. But they're like, oh, he just got out of jail. The reason why it's making the fight bigger, you know, the Mayweathers, the Tysons, it's like, oh, this guy's been on the shelf for a little bit. He ain't been training because he couldn't. How's he gonna look? How's he gonna look? And then the guys that already don't want him to win are like, oh yes, now he's got some dust on his ass, and he's gonna go in there with that ring rust, and we're gonna finally see somebody take that O away. And to what you said, that's probably why the fight's gonna do game busters. That being said, I want you to speak to something. You know, since a young kid, Tank Davis has been with the likes of Calvin Ford, and now he's still with him today, and I believe Calvin's got the man tattooed on his back somewhere. That being said, I want you to speak to staying with, you know, coming up with the same team and becoming a champion with that team that believed in you. Speak to that loyalty and that commitment.
That says a lot, because that also sets a foundation for the future in that neighborhood. That sets a foundation for the future of anybody else that he brings in, that, you know, we can make champions. Our program is proven, you know what I'm saying? And him putting that tattoo on his back, it's just the love, because he was his father figure, his uncle figure, you know what I mean? He was there for him. He's still there for him. The kid listens to him. Whether the kid gets in trouble, does what he does, even though you throw a little bit of salt over, ain't a trip. But it is what it is, man. That's what you want. That's why Devin Haney and his dad are together, because that foundation is built off family and trust.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look at Ryan Garcia. He never had a good foundation, and look what happened with him. You see what I'm saying? Just like Canelo didn't have a good foundation with the people that he ran with. He left.
Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya. Yeah. Same place as Ryan's with. Yeah.
Yeah, so good foundations make great fighters, man. When Tyson was with his team, and
death separated.
The guy died. What's his name died? You know, he separated from that. He went downhill. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Customato. Thank you. I don't want to butcher his name, but foundations are everything. That's a good foundation, and the kids that are looking to be the next Tank Davis, Mike Tyson, Deontay Wilder, Canelo, Ryan Garcia, whoever you want to name, Muhammad Ali's, whatever you want to name, who you want to be like, that foundation is set there for them, man. So I big respect for that shit.
Well, that being said, you brought up two key components. We started out with talking about Calvin Ford. You brought up Devin Haney and his dad, and I'm not gonna take the Devin Haney slander, and I got a little package for you right now with one Bill Haney, who keeps it all the way funky with Calvin Ford. Yeah, they go at it right now, and I want you to break down this little gem. Enjoy this verbal sparring match right here.
I don't even want to talk to that dude, yo. I really don't. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I ain't got no words for him.
Really? He's on the line.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I ain't get on.
Yeah, because my son. Hey, listen. Because my son will knock that nigga out. Because my son will knock Tank the fuck out. That's why you don't want no words from me.
running your mouth, boy.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
I
gonna keep
said,
running my mouth. I'm gonna keep running my mouth, nigga. You talking about
no,
you ain't got no
your mouth,
words
my
for me,
name,
nigga?
that's all you do.
What you mean you
That's
ain't got
all
no words?
you do.
Cause I said you wasn't getting no money.
Nigga, I'm getting money. You know I'm getting money. That's why you trying to get with me.
No, what you mean trying to get with you? Trying to get
That's
what?
what I just said. You
Big one
chasing
take
up.
little one.
You
Hey, big one take little one.
man, check this out, man. Like
Yeah,
I
well, slow
said,
down talking about money,
chasing
nigga.
us, man. I got time for that bullshit, Bill. You
Yeah,
on some
big one
shit?
take little one, then, nigga.
Yeah.
Fuck
All
you
right,
talking
nigga.
about
We'll
you getting
see you.
money. You ain't getting no money. You ain't
Send you
getting no
that
money. But if you
motherfucker.
happy, listen,
Attention,
if you
bitch.
happy with it, Calvin, if you happy with it, I ain't got
Bill.
no problem.
I ain't gonna let
Okay,
you.
well, you
I don't
talk.
talk to me neither, man. I don't want to hear that bullshit, yo. You on some bullshit? Like I
You on
said,
some, hey, listen.
Yep.
chasing up.
Hey, listen.
We
Yep.
Hey,
good.
listen, you got
We
my
good.
number.
Go
You got
handle
One
my
of
your
number.
y'all
business
at
You
a
ain't
like
call
time.
me.
Come on,
wow.
Bill.
We
One at a
good.
time. One at a
Okay.
time.
All right.
I
Answer.
don't want to talk
I'll
to
let you
him.
talk.
I don't know what I want to talk to you for. We'll see you. Just like I said, we want to see you.
And that's pretty much that. Verbal boxing match.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Tank Davis has not faced anybody the caliber of a Devin Haney. So who says he
Bro,
wouldn't get knocked
stop with
out?
the Devin's the greatest boxer. We just saw him
I mean,
struggle
he's the
against
best. He's the
Loma,
best at
bro.
135 pounds. He's best at
Okay,
135
and
pounds.
he's the
You
best
see him.
duck.
You see
He's
him.
the
You
best
see him
duck
right
at
here.
135.
I don't
Everybody
see
trying to fight
how.
the boy, and he ducking. They sent contracts to him. He keep ducking the contracts. They
He
want to
just
fight
fought
him. Sign the
Vasil
paper. He barely beat Vasily. You don't think, man? It's whatever. Look, I'm
He
not
did
gonna
beat him
hate on
though.
Devin Haney, but don't sit here and act
You are
like Devin
hating.
is the golden. No, you
You
trying
are
to shit on
hating.
everybody else, and Devin got a belt handed to him, and then he's
He's
fighting
got all
bums
the
when he
belts.
needs to fight the people that he's trying to fight. Now he's trying to go run up and fight what's his name, because he's struggling in his fight. Oh, he looks like it's easy, but Prograde's gonna fuck around and knock his ass out. So go on and take
Now
that
Regis
fight.
Prograde.
Watch.
So now Regis
Devin
Prograde is going to be.
better keep on being the A side and being smart with cherry picking like Canelo, because those belts are gonna get dropped real soon.
So
cherry
you
pick
think
like Canelo, cherry pick
so?
and
Vasil
avoid the
Lomachenko
fight.
is a cherry.
Come on, bro. We
He's a
all know
cherry.
that he called Lomachenko old. He said Loma wasn't the same Loma. He said that out his mouth, and then he reversed the statements when he fought him, and then he almost barely beat him. Get the fuck out of here. I'm just saying, bro. Don't sit here and act like Devin's this great ass fucking fighter when there's people that he can fight to solidify what he needs to be solidified for, and he won't fight none of them. They done sent the kite. His dad does all this fucking running his mouth. You can say that. Well, Canelo got all the belts. Canelo's the greatest fighter. Yep, you're right. Canelo got all the belts too.
Canelo got beat.
But
Devin Haney is undefeated.
Canelo's
been defeated twice.
Don't take the gas off of fucking Devin Haney when Canelo got all the belts and he ducking people that he need to fight too. He has mandatories and he's ducking them.
Who is he ducking? He went,
but he's ducking them, bro. Get out of here.
Who is Devin Haney? Who is Devin Haney ducking? Put a name on it.
Shakur. He ducking Shakur. He don't want that fight. Shakur just face holding him, but he won't take the fight. He ran out of the ring. The dude went in there and disrespected him in the fucking ring. Wow. He won't even give Loma a rematch because he know Loma might finish his ass.
Why does he need to fight Loma again?
Exactly, because he knows he's gonna get that ass whooped. But fuck Loma. Who's next? Who's the next one at 135 to fight? You tell me.
We'll see. We'll see.
Tell me. Even
we're gonna get to that,
ass, bro.
We're gonna get to that. Nobody hasn't yet. He's undefeated, but we're gonna get to that. Speaking of Shakur Stevenson, people. Speaking of Shakur Stevenson, I'll go ahead and throw to that little clip of Shakur in the ring after Haney soundly defeated Lomachenko.
Hey, for now, bro. For now.
I win the belt, not leave my ring. Gone.
What'd you say?
I said I win a belt and I leave my ring. I would have told them, hey, get him out the ring. Let me enjoy my shit. Come on, man. He ain't even got the balls to stay in this fucking ring, bro. He let that little boy hold his ass.
You act like this is supposed to be like some Stone Cold Killer gangster shit. Like these dudes weren't childhood friends. Like they ain't gonna. They're not gonna go out.
All right, go ahead.
What is he supposed to do? Be like, oh, don't come in my ring. Don't do this. Like these dudes known each other their whole lives. They're not gonna get into no gangster shit.
This my night. This my ring. Hey, back it up. What deal with you later? He could have handled that so much different, bro. But it's whatever. You want to take that? I promise you. Like I told you, Devin was. Even when I said Devin's gonna barely beat this dude. He lucky he fucking came off in that 12th round. He lucky he did. I got receipts on what the fuck was said during that fight. All right, Devin barely squeaked out of that fucking fight. So let's just be real.
But he won.
All right, you're right. He won. He got the dub.
That's the fact of the matter.
Graves got the dub, so it don't matter. You're right.
I mean, I'm just saying that's the fact of the matter. He did win the fight.
You're right. I'm wrong for saying that. You are right. He won, just like Canelo won.
I mean, you can be facetious and condescending, but I'm just saying that that is the fact of the matter. The fact of the matter is that he got his hand raised and he got.
He's the greatest fighter.
That's just you being condescending because you're saying stuff you don't believe.
You're fanboying you're saying this guy, man.
Okay, but I'm saying stuff that I'm saying stuff that I actually believe. I'm not saying, oh, well, you believe this, so let me say, oh, well, okay,
saying,
this
bro.
is that. Like you just being condescending.
But do you see him ducking?
I'm saying what I actually believe.
The people he needs to fight. Can you admit
You cannot duck anybody. Right. You cannot listen. How the hell can Devin Haney? All right, okay. As soon as I can talk, I'll let you know. As soon as I can talk, I'll let you know. Okay, so how can Devin Haney duck anybody? How is it possible for Devin Haney to be a duck when he got the belts off of a guy? He gave that guy his mandatory rematch, and his very next fight was a former unified champion. He just fought the guy. How the hell is he ducking anybody at this point? There is no fucking way he is. He just got the belt. He gave the guy a rematch, and then he fought the former unified champion. The other guy moved to 140 in Teofimo Lopez. There's no way he ducked anybody. We'll see who he fights next. It's too early to tell. But at the end of the day,
at the end of the day, 140 to fight.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. He'll probably go and fight. I mean, come on, dude. You act like the weight cut is easy for him. The way
you shouldn't be fighting at that weight class.
You big up Shakur Stevenson. Big up Shakur Stevenson. How many fights does he have as 135? Right now, 1, 2. You big up Shakur Stevenson. Let's not forget he gave up his belts on the scale. Let's not forget that he just decided not to make
the weight cut because he can't keep dropping the weight. He's growing and getting bigger, so he went up the weight class. Like he ain't gonna kill himself.
I'm gonna let you go.
Trying to hold some bullshit belts.
Bullshit belts. Okay, got you. I'll let you go. Let me rebuttal. I'll let you go. I'll rebuttal. Listen, he won. He may wait for all the fights to win the belts. If you're not going to make weight for the title defense, then don't sign the fucking contract. I give him no passes for being too big for the weight class. Hey, Devin Haney's too big for the weight class. He's having trouble making weight, but he's a professional and he's making the fucking weight. He's not giving his belts away on the fucking scale. That's what he's not doing. And at the end of the day,
he had 3 weigh-ins. He made the last one. Get out!
But he made it. Shakur just said, "Fuck it." There's a difference. There is a difference.
He's like, I'm not going to kill myself to keep fucking fighting here. Think about it.
Then don't sign the contract. Don't sign the fucking contract. If you cannot live up,
fucking argument. He moved out. The fuck out of here.
What do you mean? How is that an argument? What do you mean? What do you mean? How is that an argument? What do you mean? He signed the contract. He signed the contract that said, "Hey, show up on X day at X weight," and he decided to not honor the words in the fucking contract and lose his belt on the scale.
He could.
Then don't sign the contract. If you can't make the weight, don't sign up for the fight.
He should have. That's just like the fucking dude in the UFC that tried to fight Nate Diaz. He couldn't make the weight. He thought he could. The fuck out of here.
You don't think he's receiving? You don't think he's received just as much, if not more, slander? He hasn't been seen or heard of since. So he literally hasn't been seen or heard of since.
You don't think he's getting slandered? Trying to make it.
You don't.
Yeah, I
No,
care,
bro. No, that's the thing. He didn't try to make it that hard. He showed up 15 pounds overweight. That's not him trying to make it.
Did you hear them say he down there died? Trey said he down there killed himself making the weight. How the fuck it? All right, man. If you arguing shit because you want to fucking slander for, yeah, he did. You don't know.
That's a different fight. That's a different fight.
You see Cyborg down there dying trying to make the weight cut.
That's a different fight,
bro. Oh my God, it
was a different fight. It was a different fight. I'm just being
real.
real.
Fight that he didn't fucking make. That's why he fought Kevin Holland.
Listen, I don't need a history lesson on that. I'm fully aware of the situation. All I'm saying is he doesn't get a pass either, and he hasn't been seen or heard of since. Shakur Stevenson doesn't get a pass either. If you cannot
I'm
make
not
the
giving
weight,
him a pass.
Let me get this out, bro. If you cannot make the weight, if
God
you cannot,
damn, they can't make the weight. That's why he moved up. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying
move up and then move the fuck up and don't sign the fight this one.
That's why he's in this weight class now.
You're missing the fucking point, dude. You're missing the point. Can I get a sentence out? This is the point. Please do not interrupt me, please. If you I get it. After that fight, which I'm just trying to talk a little bit, bro. Can I please get this out? I get it. You disagree with me. I get it. Can I get this out?
Hey,
listen.
You disagree. Get it out. Just get it.
I get it. The man, after he decided to relinquish his belt on the scale, he then moved up a weight division. My point is he should have just fucking moved up if he knew he couldn't make the fucking weight. Do not sign a contract. You have to be professional. They show up at a date at a certain weight. If you know you can't make that weight, if it's that hard for you, then don't sign the fucking contract. Just move up. And Khamzat Chimaev signed the contract and didn't make weight. Just move the fuck up. If you can't make the weight, don't sign the fucking contract. That's my point. Move the fuck up. Don't sign the contract. That's all I'm trying to get at.
You don't think he thought he could make the fucking weight and then realize he couldn't? You ain't never did something you thought you could do and realized you couldn't do it?
I get it.
When you had it in here knowing you could? Like, come on, man. That sounds stupid. I get what you're saying. He signed it. He tried to make it. He couldn't. Don't make it sound like he knew the whole time he couldn't make the weight. That's all I'm saying. He didn't know. He thought he could make it one more time, and he didn't. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying Devin Haney's probably at that leg where he's barely making his weight, and he's thinking of, that's why he's thinking about going up, because he's like, this shit is killing him coming down here. It is fucking with him. Look how he looks in the weigh-in. Dude, that's not good for the body. That's all I'm saying. Is it worth trying to hold all that shit?
It is worth it is worth it. It's worth your dignity. It's worth your respect. Think about it. Think about all the best boxers that you've ever known of. How many of them are losing their belts or missing weight on the fucking scale? It does not happen. It does not happen at this level. It's highly unprofessional. Very highly unprofessional. And I'm not going to give him any type of passes for it. That's just me. Go ahead.
It ain't about passing. How many fighters did we know fight in weight classes where they dropped all the way down? Like, be honest. How many fighters back in the day that weighed 175 was dropping all the way down to 130? They weren't. They were 10 pounds off from their regular walk-around weight. Now it's easier for these guys to drop these weights to get in these weight classes to fight these guys. Like Alex, he's coming from fucking 20 pounds, 30 pounds to come down to fight Adesanya when that's not even his walk-around weight. And look what it's doing to him. That's all I'm saying. Back then, they wasn't dropping weight like this. Nowadays, they're dropping it because their ID is this, and that. That's not good, man.
Bro, Poatan had a kickboxing career at the same weight, and he fought at 205, just the same he's doing in MMA. At the end of the day, although weight cutting is hard, it's well documented. It's very, very hard. These guys are getting down to a weight so they can be bigger at that weight class. It gives them an advantage. I get that. That's why they do it. They want to be as big and as fast and strong as they can at a division that they can make. I completely get that. But at the end of the day, the only one that's fucking missing weight in a championship fight is Shakur Stevenson. And this is what Shakur had to say after the Haney fight.
Lomachenko should be undisputed champion. He won.
Wow.
He won that fight.
What was it about his performance tonight that makes you say that he deserved the win?
He landed the cleaner punches. He landed the cleaner shots on Dev, and he pushed the pace.
What you saw tonight means that if Devin Haney decides to stay at 135, you could potentially get a shot at the undisputed title. How much do you want that fight?
Let's make it happen. I think that should happen next. I think Devin not on my level, and I'm going to show it.
In terms of what you saw that Devin did well tonight, what can you take away from that?
I feel like he's a tough fighter, but it's a high skill level within me, and I feel like he's not on my level. Bill called me out after my last fight, so now I'm here, and they ran out the ring.
So you have a chance to look right in the camera, because I'm sure they'll see this after. What do you want to say to Devin Haney and Bill Haney?
They just seen me just now. They said something and ran out the ring. They got a little scared.
But you have a chance to say it.
I can't wait.
Now, I know that there's some qualms made that, Devin didn't stick around in the ring and make a big scene with Shakur Stevenson, solidifying him as next, because they might not know who's next. But you mentioned it earlier, you know what I mean? He didn't take command of the ring. So I want to ask you to further expand on that and expand on the psychological aspect of it. And does Shakur have the upper hand, even though he doesn't have the belts right now?
Shakur has the upper hand on the psychological warfare. Devin could have stayed in there and sold the fight more. I do believe Devin won the fight. I will say that Devin did, to me, win the fight in the 12th. He took it late in the 12th. He won the fight. Devin, for his brand, if he wanted to make money, he should have stayed in there and said what he needed to say. I get it that Devin don't do too much of the talking. Bill does most of the damn talking for him. Let's just be real. Bill is the mouth of that team. You know what I'm saying? Devin just does the fighting. So maybe that was out of Devin's realm of whatever it is, but he missed a golden opportunity. Even if he wasn't going to fight Shakur Stevens, he could have made his name bigger with the bullshit talk. Now they're seeing each other in the clubs, and Shakur is just looking like he's punking him left and right. I know you say it ain't got nothing to do with street cred, this and that, but come on, man. You testing his manhood. Everywhere he's going, he's like, I'm taking your manhood from you, bro. What you gonna do? You gonna keep running? And that's what it's looking like. He missed a golden opportunity to big up his name. That's all. To me, that's what I feel.
And you might be right about that. But at the end of the day, like, isn't the most bigging up winning the fight? I mean, he stole his shine a little bit. It's a headline. It's clickbait. People are talking, oh, did you see Shakur in there? Did you see Devin and them get out of the ring real quick? Like, it definitely took away from his shine that night. I agree with you, big bro. But, Shakur wants that fight. He wants the belts. He wants that fight. And, and the team Haney is kind of dangling that in front of him. Like, is he going to get it? Is he not going to get it? Bill Haney came out and said that that Devin Haney is only going to stick around for Tank or Shakur. We'll see if those fights happen. And Calvin Ford on the Tank Davis side says either Shakur or Tank, or Shakur or Devin, because those are the fighters that they say is better than Tank. So both of them, all of them are kind of it's like a triad, a triangle of them calling out each other. We don't know if any of those fights are going to be made, but if you could choose one of those fights, what is the fight you want to see the most between those three?
All right. With those three, can I piggyback on something you said when you was like, doesn't it matter if you win? This day and age, back in the day, 10 years ago, yes, the W is all that matters. This day and age now, it's all about clout and energy. If you don't have the energy, if you ain't got the clout, it don't matter how good you're doing, because they don't really give a damn. Canelo's winning, but his clout's down. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it's based on. And the fight that I want to see Tank put the money where his mouth is, talking that about Devin Haney, and I want to see Devin Haney also put the money where his mouth is. I'd rather see Tank and Devin go at it than Shakur and any of them. Right now, Shakur is on the outside looking in, because these two are the biggest established fighters to me at that 130, 135. This is for all the marbles, because if Devin's on his way out, how shitty would it be if Devin drops the belts to go up to another weight class. Like, how shitty would that be to not see him fight either one of them? Like that would be
that'd be very shitty.
That would be ugly, but that's what might happen, bro.
I would love to see that fight, like the Devin versus Tank, and not only because of everything that you just said and everything that's been said between both camps, but because of what I believe personally, and I don't believe that Tank has fought a boxer the caliber of Devin Haney, and I don't think Devin Haney's fought a boxer with the power and also the boxing wherewithal of a Tank Davis. So that that conundrum like really gets me going and gets me like chomping at the bit to see that exchange. That being said, we're going to move on to a guy that you spoke a little bit about right now. You know, one Saul Canelo Alvarez, his last performance, it was a spectacle in his native land, and his entrance was one for the ages. He definitely handled his business inside the ropes, and he's got everybody wondering, you know, just what's next. That being said, Eddie Reynoso, and you can say he's just trying to get back all of his boxers. He's claiming that Canelo Alvarez is the greatest Mexican boxer ever at this point. Do you put Canelo Alvarez above the great Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.?
No. Even though Julio Cesar took a couple L's, Julio Cesar fought everybody. There was no duck in that man. There was no duck. There was no easy fight. He fought the best of the best for the longest. He was that top tier. He fought the top tier, and I respect that man. He's a great fighter, bro. And Canelo, in the beginning, I could have said that, but Canelo is the king of the catchweight. He has a lot of catchweight fights, and he also has a lot of weight drain fights, like the dehydration clause. You know what I'm saying? That came out of his old corner with Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya used to have a lot of dehydration clause fights. So, you know,
it's hydration clause, but
you know what I'm saying? These rehydration clause fights. But when you're the A side, you get to pick whatever the fuck you want. You pick these so you can stay on top because you need an edge. You're the best. You keep fighting the best. Those people that are coming up to fight you are not fighting the best. They're getting put in line to fight you sometimes, but they're the best. You know what I mean? But that whole thing. So Canelo being the greatest Mexican, no. Is he in the top 5? Yes. I'm not even going to hate. Yes. You know, top 3? Yes. But he's not the top.
I couldn't agree more, bro. Again, Eddie Reynoso claiming that Canelo Alvarez is the best Mexican boxer of all time. So just to add a little perspective to it, one Julio Cesar Chavez went 89-0 before tasting defeat and ended with a record of 176, 6-2. And with Canelo Alvarez, of course, holding a record of 59-2. He did go 42-0, but his only 2 defeats were to Floyd Money Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol. That being said, I'm going to have to double down with what you said. No, Canelo is not the greatest Mexican boxer, and you can try to break down Julio Cesar Chavez's resume, but the fact of the matter is that the guy showed up. You know, to show up and get it done that many times in a row before you have a moment where you lose is incredible. There's so many ways to lose. That you can have an off night, you can have things going on at home, you can just be ill. There's so many variables. So no, Julio Cesar Chavez is now and probably will be in perpetuity the greatest Mexican boxer ever. That being said, I did mention a little bit with Dimitri Bivol, and you know what the dilemma is with them. Dimitri saying, "Oh, I already beat you at this weight class. I want to come down and get your belts." And Canelo saying, "No, I want to rematch same weight. You know what I mean? I don't want you to come down to my weight class and then people say I weight drained you. I want all the same terms and I want to get it done." This fight's probably not going to happen because of this, but what is your thoughts on this little quarrel between these two?
Canelo knows he can't beat him at that weight class because that weight class was whatever fight for Canelo. He could have said, "Oh, that ain't my weight class." This is what this boils down to, and this is why Bivol wants to fight him at his weight class because Bivol believes he can beat him at his weight class for no excuses, and Canelo could go up and lose again and just say, I'm not comfortable at that weight. And that's what this basically,
and still have his belts.
Yes, he still has his belts. But Bivol said, nah, you're not going to run to those belts because I'm going to take them, or you're going to have to fight somebody that's going to take them. So what's up?
Canelo Alvarez is being rumored to fight Jermall Charlo next. Do you see that happening? Because we don't think David Benavidez is he's slated to fight Durrell. So they're both like all these. True. Well, I'm just saying there's rumors out here.
Yeah.
There's rumors. Nothing signed. Nothing is signed. But those are the rumors going around. If the Charlo Canelo fight actually happens, I won't be upset. Yeah, I prefer the Benavidez fight, but at least this guy is finally putting his belts on the line against somebody. Thoughts?
I personally do not want to see the Charlo fight. We should have seen that Charlo fight 2-3 years ago. Mm-hmm. The dude hasn't fought in almost 3 years. He was on I Am Athlete crying, bro. He still got issues up here that he's dealing with. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's not going to come back and do his thing. He's not ready for Canelo. Canelo's primed up. Canelo's done had 2 fights already. You know what I'm saying? This dude hasn't fought. I don't believe in ring rust, but I do believe in he ain't took no hits, and it could be different for him. 3 years is a long time not to be in the ring, not to be training, not to test your will. He's not ready yet. So the only fight that needs to be made is Badou Jack. Psych! Because he said no. David Benavidez should be that fight. I don't want to deal with it, but I'm just saying, Canelo, I get we're on this. Canelo's looking for the easy fight. This is what this is being a duck right here. He's being a true duck.
Right. I think the prospect of fighting Badou Jack is absurd anyways. Badou Jack's best years are behind him. Yes, he turned back the clock and had a great performance in his last fight and got him a belt out of it. But is he a top tier? He's like at the same level. Badou Jack is at the same level of a Adrian Broner at this point, except he's just a better boxer. But he's at that stage of his career, you know what I mean, where the best of him has already been had.
Yeah.
That being said,
like Pacquiao, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to stick around too late, you know what I mean? But hey, if there's money to be had, I'm not gonna get mad at you guys for getting out there and getting it. If you're not losing your faculties and your brain cells. Let's move on though, bro. We're gonna move on to what everybody's excited about now: the fight, Spence versus Crawford. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's been talking about it. They've been making these guys old men and putting them on posters because they didn't think it was ever going to happen. Well, it's going to happen, bro. It's going to happen. The Unified Championship. They're calling this the best fight since the days of the Four Horsemen being, you know what I mean? I can't even think. Hagler, Hagler, Hearns, Leonard, and Roberto Duran. I had a little brain malfunction there. But that being said, going in, you know what I mean? What's your take on this fight? Who is your preliminary front runner for victory when this showdown happens?
This fight, to me, I am excited for it. This is a coin toss fight. I was thinking like Spence had the upper hand, and then I seen Crawford putting on some weight. I was like, oh my God, the boy is it's gonna be some heat thrown in this fight, man. This is gonna be a good fight. Even if it starts off slow, eventually, if it's to the 3rd, 4th round, when the hands get to flying, somebody might be going to sleep because these are bombs. It's a tactical fight, skill fight. Both of these boys is dangerous. Spence is known to crack orbital bones and skulls, and Crawford puts them out. You know what I mean? This is going to be a good fight. I don't know. I can't pick this one, man. I want Spence to win, but then I look at Crawford and I like Crawford. I'm like, man, why am I hating on Crawford? Crawford, I want him to win. This is a hard one for me. This is a hard one. I'm not picking.
Well, it is very hard. You know what I mean? These are two really, really great fighters. It's the best fighters at the weight, you know what I mean? By a long shot, in my opinion. That being said, this is my take on this. Errol Spence, you know what I mean? Flipping the car, he's back. Look, I'm just going to cut to the chase. Errol Spence is milk chocolate. He's the pretty boy. He's the one that everybody wants to win. He's the one that they want to be the face of the division. Well, the homie Bud Crawford is dark chocolate. You know what I mean? And he's a bootstrap guy. He isn't the easiest on the eyes. He's exactly lunch pail, hard hat. And at the end of the day, people that are out there picking Errol Spence, you're not dumb. People that are picking Bud, you're not dumb either. My take on it is, bro, Bud Crawford is going to take this one. Bud Crawford is already a former unified champion with all the belts at a weight class below, and he's going to do the same damn thing when he gets in there with Errol Spence, and then afterwards, the Boost Ennises and etc. are next. Like, Bud Crawford is the best boxer in this division, in my opinion, and I feel like, and I'm going to put my money where my mouth is 100%. But let Bud be a dog. Let Bud be a fucking dog. Hey, bro. Listen, I'm gonna put my money down, but that's beside the point. My pick is Terrence Bud Crawford here. Anything else to add before we segue away?
I was gonna say this: every time Bud got knocked down or took a big shot, he turned the fight over. It went to straight dominant. So that's the only thing to me that I see. Bud, if Bud takes a shot, he's one of those guys that get rattled and then it's full focus, kill dog mode. You know what I mean? So I hope Spence don't think he's going to drop the bomb and it's going to change the fight, because he might walk into something and be like, oh. But the same with Bud. I don't know, man. Like I said, this is going to be a good-ass fight, man. Woo.
You know what I hope? I hope these guys don't get in there and they're both weary of each other's abilities, and we get just a sparring match that goes to the cards. That would be a travesty.
No, that ain't going to happen, bro.
That would be a travesty.
I'm telling you, we're going to get sparring for the first 3 rounds. And when the first heat shot gets thrown and it lands, it's fire after that. Whoever lands the first heat shot, it's coming. It's coming, bro. If they ticky tack it, then no. But you don't think one of these mugs gonna go for it? Come on, man.
Well, I can't wait to see it. Moving on, like you mentioned, focus, and I'm gonna cut to a little clip of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Sr. in the moment where focus is a factor, and I want you to break this down after you see it.
Right hand, okay? Stiff arm me and drop your right hand, okay?
Pretty loud.
Boy, you ain't paying attention, man. Just Bob, didn't touch me, Bob.
So it's like Floyd like taking everything in the Matrix, visualizing what he's gonna do, and he gets out there and implements that against Canelo. Like, I thought that was pretty fucking dope. Wanted to show you that. But we don't need to sit here and massage Floyd Mayweather and Floyd Sr.'s resume and what they've done in the sport. We're gonna move on to somebody that's equally controversial in one. Conor McGregor. Yeah, we're moving on to mixed martial arts right now. Conor McGregor is definitely in the news, and not for a good reason, but we're going to get to that. Guys, if you're here, like, share, comment, subscribe. Why not? You know what I mean? Especially if you're enjoying the content. But big bro, the first thing I want to talk about pertaining to one Conor McGregor, Ireland's former favorite son, is more of a positive note. Conor McGregor, I don't know if you've had the opportunity to see this, but the man does have a doc out there on Netflix. It's called McGregor Forever, I believe. McGregor Forever. And it definitely shows you like backstage visuals of him after fights and where his headspace was, and after the Khabib brawl, after losing to Dustin Poirier. And it paints him as a family man. He's a great father. He loves his kids, and he's just a major, highly like aggressive competitor. Have you had the opportunity to check this out?
No, and I don't want to see it neither.
And why is that?
I just think documentaries are tailored to fit a narrative that they want to paint sometimes.
I hear you. I hear
that. I like the Conor McGregor that I'm seeing. I don't need to see the back. He's a nasty person. He does some shady shit. That's what I know. I don't need to see that he's a good dad. I'm quite sure he's a good fucking dad. But all that other shit, I'm good on it, man.
Well, if you ever do want to scratch that itch, it will be worth it. You can miss all the propaganda and whatever messes they're trying to get out there, and hone in on the moment post fight, or you know what I mean.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. Like definitely. Like I like how they did the documentary of The Last Dance because it was strictly about the team. They didn't go into the personal shit. If you would have told me it was strictly about his fights and shit, I don't give a damn about what he's doing with his dad. I don't give a damn about whose lives he's saving by donating money and shit. I don't give a shit about that. I only know him from fighting. I just want to see the fighting shit. I don't give a fuck about what they're doing, you know. They ain't helping me none, you know.
Fair enough.
My bad though.
Move it.
But
no, you're good. You're good. Moving on. Conor McGregor, of course, is involved in the latest installment of The Ultimate Fighter, and just to break that apart, it's him versus Michael Chandler. The show is consisting of former UFC fighters against fighters trying to get into the UFC. Well, how it shook out, Michael Chandler chose all the guys that were in the UFC, and Conor McGregor chose all the prospects. And right now, Michael Chandler's undefeated. That being said, do you have any appetite to watch this show? It's kind of entertaining. I'll give it that.
I haven't watched the Contenders and all them TV series. I don't know, man. I just say when it comes to the TV right now, I haven't been on that, man. Actually, I've been gaming and I've been in school doing shit. So I'm quite sure it's probably a decent show. I don't think Conor's a good coach. I just think it's him and his ego swinging around, and I haven't seen anything on the show. Would it never be like the Rampage and Rashad days, and who else had some good takes on there? Like Chael Sonnen and the Axe Murder. Those were some entertaining. And I know they're trying to live that stuff, but it's I had enough of Conor to where I don't need to see him every day, you know.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but we got some more Conor on the way. Conor McGregor was a guest at the Miami Heat playoff game, and I don't know if you heard about this, but the man ended up, it was a work. It was a work. He ended up, it was supposed to be scripted. He was there to advertise his fragrance, and the fans started booing, and some are saying this is why he took it out on the mascot. Conor McGregor laid into this guy, sent him to the ER. So even if this was scripted, Conor McGregor laid him out and then delivered a crushing blow to this guy while he was down that sent him to the hospital. I mean, what do you think about these shenanigans going on? Like, what are your thoughts on this? Do you hate to be the guy in that outfit, the mascot outfit here?
I think that guy's trying to get paid. Honestly, I think Conor caught him a little bit, but I don't think he caught him enough. This dude was like, "Oh yeah, those mascots, they make money. Like there's one of them make like $500,000 a year. So I mean, he's getting paid, but he's going to get a cash check. Come on, man, this is Conor. Conor got money. This dude took one for the team right there, bro. Because that first punch don't look like much. He looked like he hit the top. The head is above his head some. You know what I'm saying? He's looking out the mouth. So
I think. Go ahead. I just think when he's on the ground and he lays and he delivers that ground shot, I think the mascot reacts immediately. Watch this. Maybe like that's what he's meant to do. I don't know. But he did go to the hospital. But big bro, this is the least of Conor McGregor's worries because a little bit more went down at that Miami Heat game. And I don't know if you know this, but Conor McGregor has been accused of sexual assault. There was a VIP bathroom that fans were congregating around at this Miami Heat game. Conor McGregor went into the bathroom stall with the lady, and she claims that she was sexually assaulted in that. Here's the video, courtesy of TMZ Sports, of the incident. But the video doesn't match the report. The woman that says that she was sexually assaulted, her words say that she was forced into the bathroom by security, and then Conor McGregor emerged from a bathroom stall. Now, that being said, here you can clearly see her take Conor McGregor's hand. It looks like she's holding the hand of her friend as well, and willingly going into this bathroom, and the door closes. Now, what happened beyond that door, and if it was consensual or not, none of us know. Only the people inside that motherfucker know. But your thoughts on Conor McGregor even being in this situation? Poor D. Devlin, who's expecting another child. But anyways, that's not my business. What is your thoughts on Conor McGregor even being in this situation? And before you go, Conor McGregor released a statement saying that his team released a statement saying Conor McGregor would not be bullied when the sexual assault allegations came out. Go ahead, bro.
All right, first I'm gonna throw some salt. That's why I didn't watch the documentary, because this is the Conor that I need to see, is this right here. And Family Man, hint, hint. Number two, Conor needs to be smarter than this. There's opportunities in America that are willing to try to do anything they can to get a check. Of course, you go into a restroom with a girl and a bunch of people standing out there. They're going to call her a hoe. She's going to feel a type of way, and she's going to scream, "Oh, my God, he touched me. He did this to me." And now she's got a lawsuit. That's what happened. I mean, I'm not saying it's truly what happened, but I'm just saying, like, that's the narrative. That's what I saw. You went in there. You know what you was going in there for. You was going in there to
do you believe she was assaulted?
I believe he probably showed her the good old wanker, and she was probably like, "Oh," and then she probably touched it, and then she came out, and motherfucker was calling him home. And she was like, "No, he made me." That's what I think.
Either that or her boyfriend was like, "You better get some money out of this motherfucker."
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That was the setup the whole time. Like, come on, man.
I don't think they'll get a dime.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll get a dime.
And then she lied and said she got forced in there, and you see her walking in, pulling her friend in there. I saw Conor, and then I saw her going in willy-dilly. So,
exactly. The footage does not lie.
Yeah, just like the Michael Irvin thing. When that girl tried to say that, he said,
"Oh, that was ridiculous.
Inappropriate shit." You know what I'm saying? Like, they see opportunities to make money, and that's what it was, bro. You got to be careful.
That being said, one of the more respected voices in mixed martial arts media, if you will, journalism, if you will, if you want to call it that. Luke Thomas, one of my inspirations to actually get started with doing my own podcast, had a little bit to weigh in that I agree with. I mean, regardless of if you believe in this accusation or not, it's ridiculous and it's highly believable. And he does a good job of cataloging Conor McGregor's transgressions. And I just wanted to play this little clip for you and break that down after. Did I not?
You did not.
Let me see here. I did not. So let me, again, your boy's doing the production and he's doing the show. I deserve a mulligan, but it is what it is. Players fuck up. Like Day said, I fuck up all the time. Here was Luke
This
Thomas.
would make the third time Conor is accused of sexual assault if we're counting, right? If we're counting, there is the incident that happened apparently in December of 2018 in Dublin, which later took on legal life in 2019. There is the incident in Corsica, where he was arrested and then let go, and the authorities there ultimately dropped charges because they had insufficient evidence. And now there is this, and on top of it, there is one that's, to my knowledge, I had to double check this because someone had noted it. There is a woman who claims to have been assaulted on a yacht by him, I believe his yacht, and then had to jump off. She also went to the authorities. But that, to my knowledge, is not a sexual assault claim, more just actual straight up assault. And of course, if we're talking assault, there's that one. There's didn't turn into assault, but he got kind of spicy with Machine Gun Kelly, the Bellator cage. How about the Italian DJ who claimed he got assaulted? How about the old guy in the pub, which was caught on video? There's been a few of these. There's been a few of these, at least at a bare minimum of allegations. So if it were true, would it in any way be surprising? Like, no, I don't think that it would be.
Agree or disagree?
I think Dana needs to do the John Jones protocol on Conor McGregor.
Hey, maybe,
Dude
but John ain't never got as big as Conor.
Say what?
John's never been as big as Conor.
Yeah, it's to the point to where Conor can't go nowhere without. I mean, let's just say that it's 50-50. Let's just say that half of it is people trying to get paid. Because the girl jumping off a yacht, to me, if you're out in the ocean, I don't give a damn what y'all did to me. I'm not jumping off no yacht.
Hell no.
Like what? Like if we're docked, then yes. But I'm quite sure that yacht was sailing and she jumped off. You're crazy. You understand? Nuts. You're out there by yourself and you swimming by yourself. Yeah, right. Nah, I'm good. So I don't know, man. Conor he needs to know that he's got to check himself, man. After a while, when you keep hearing all these, to me, you got to look in the mirror.
Yeah, not a lot of legal action going on with this. I don't know if they're settling out of court or what. But with that being said, Conor McGregor seems to think that he's only just a few adjustments away from beating Floyd Mayweather in boxing, and he's been banging the rematch drum since the match happened. Is it time to let this delusion go?
Yeah. Conor knows that Floyd might be getting like 3/10 slower. That's it.
Yeah.
And Conor's like, well, if I'm 40 and Floyd's 50, I got a chance. I don't know what their age discrepancy is, but maybe Conor needs some of that Floyd money because he's losing his money in court.
Well, Conor seems to think that he's one of the best boxing minds right now, weighing in on boxing here and there, all over the place, thinking he can give Ryan Garcia advice after the Tank Davis fight, saying he wanted to see it again, telling him how he could adjust. He weighed in on the upcoming fight between Nathan Diaz and Jake Paul, and his words were, as shows, he says, I think Nate Diaz slaps the head off of him, and he looks forward to seeing it. Do you agree with Nate? Do you agree with that that prospect of how that fight will play out?
No. Nate Diaz is probably going to get dog walked. And then the last round, Nate's going to do one good punch, stumble Jake, and everybody's going to say, oh, man, Nate won that fight. And then as for
point
Conor,
at him and be like, I got you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I could knock you out, but I'll let you slide, But
I'll let you slide.
He's got the greatest boxing mind. If he did, then Poirier would have knocked him out. So
man, man. What do you think? What do you think about the childish antics at the face-off between these two? I mean, what the hell is this?
This
is
Jake
boxing.
Paul
what the hell?
Jake Paul, bro. Look, Nate's just like, yo, man, chill the fuck out, bro, with this childish shit. I swear to God. That's
like Jake Paul trolls and does the Diaz pose. He's just trolling him. Well, one of the things that just got announced about this fight as well is that it is going to be contested within 10 rounds. Do you think that plays a factor for Nate Diaz? But before you answer that, Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Sports, who promotes boxing, obviously, went out there and said that he saw Nate Diaz hitting the bag and he doesn't last 4 rounds against Jake Paul.
Thank you. Somebody is speaking facts finally. All I'm saying is, look, bro, Nate could take a beating. I'm sorry, but a boxing beating is different than an MMA beating. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul is younger. Nate Diaz he's older. His speed's not there. Nate, I don't care what anybody say. Nate does not have great hands. He has moments. Nick was the one with the hands. If this was Nick and Jake Paul, oh my God, this would be a different fight because Nick will beat his ass in 2 rounds and then gas out if he don't got his stamina. But Nate, I just don't see much but him taking dumbass shots. Remember, he fought Tony Ferguson and was down there. He was gassed on the 21st, and they couldn't do his kick slides across the ring anymore. And that was a sad fight. So what's different with this?
Well, historically, you know, the Diaz brothers have been known as triathletes. Cardio has never been an issue for them, but Nate Diaz is the best Nate Diaz that there's ever been was at 155 pounds. He's not fought there in a while now, and this projected boxing match isn't going to be anywhere near that because Jake Paul definitely ain't getting down there. That being said, I don't, even though I don't think that the cards are stacked in Nate's favor, you bet your fucking ass I'll be in the front row. And by I say front row, I mean in front of my TV, rooting for fucking the Nick Diaz army all night long and hoping that they find a way to get out of there with a fucking victory. 100%. I'm not even kidding.
Trust.
Yeah.
I want him to win. Trust, man. But that's all I gotta say.
Moving a little bit on to more mixed martial arts here. You got Amanda Nunes winning her match against Irene Aldana, retiring with both of the belts in the cage, saying that she's the greatest forever now, and anybody else that comes after her will always have a fake belt. Thoughts on her legendary career and what it means for the UFC's women's divisions going forward?
Well, they're going to be a fake belts probably for the first year, and then after that, you can shut that fake belts. You're not forever. 2, it's going to take some years for some of the girls to get to her level. I kind of agree with that. She is beatable. See, that Pena beat her, but she came back and destroyed her. So she could have been the greatest ever if she didn't lose a fight. But the fact that she's now beatable, that to me just means the next person that holds the belts pretty good and defend them and go undefeated is going to be the one that they're going to say is better than her. So we'll see.
Well, it's going to take an awful lot. It's not possible. It's not going to be possible for anybody at those weight classes to build a resume the likes of what she's amassed, or a Cyborg for that matter, for what she's amassed.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have names on your resume from Miesha Tate to Ronda Rousey to Cyborg herself and everybody else after and in between, I mean, that is a resume that's not going to be touched. Not to mention 2 victories over Valentina Shevchenko, who will probably get that belt next. Let's be honest. She's probably going to move up and fight for the 135 belt and get that belt. Let's be honest. Unless there's somebody big enough to hold her down and make things tough for her. But that being said, you mentioned the Juliana Pena fight. You mentioned how Amanda fought very dumb and got beat by Pena. All respect to Pena. She was in there. She took the shots. She got it done. Yep. But then she was outclassed by a tremendous margin after that. And in the rematch, the trilogy was supposed to play out, but she pulled out of the fight for injury. And that's why Amanda fought Irene Aldana. Well, now that she's retired, Pena's, she's been on a tirade or a media tour, saying she's the best, and perhaps Amanda was scared of her and she retired. But this is Juliana Pena on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour.
So it's just a matter of time before the belt's around my waist again.
Do you really think she's retiring because she's afraid of you?
I would say that, she has to earn her money the hard way. You know what I mean? Like she knows, what's at risk. A tap.
Wow.
She knows that she's going to be in there for a long night. And when she was at the press conference with Irene, she said, "Oh, I'm so glad that Irene is now in the fight because it's less heavy for me." That's what she said. It was less heavy for her. Now, what does she mean by that? She knows what's at risk. She knows that I'm a threat. She knows that the Pena power is coming for her. And that during that fight of 25 minutes, I came for her the entire time. I was throwing up arm bars. I had her in a deep arm bar in round 4. I never stopped fighting, and I was in her face the entire time, and I ran out of time. And so she knows that it's going to be a hard night.
Let's be honest, bro. in the rematch, Juliana Pena did not look like she belonged in there with Nunes, but she still landed a few good shots here and there, and she did damage Nunes's eye a lot more than what we can say from what Aldana did, because Aldana did nothing. She did fuck all. So, but that being said, at least Pena was in there and went after it, even though she was completely outclassed. But what level of delusion is she on right now, in your opinion?
On a scale of 1 to 10, she's 10. I guarantee she probably caught wind that this might be her last fight, the Lioness' last fight. So if she lost the second time, she couldn't have this fucking conversation of her being the belts, this, and that. She caught wind that she was retiring. She said, there's no point in me fighting her because I can beat anybody else underneath her. So I'm just going to sit this fight out and fake an injury and then get these belts. That's my opinion. That's how I see it, bro. I think she faked an injury. I think she heard that it was a retirement. So now she could sit here and say this. But if she gets beat by the next girl, it means nothing. It means
Let
nothing.
me just say this before we move on. Juliana Pena seems to think that she's next up because she took down the almighty Nunes, when everybody knows Nunes definitely fought a terrible fight that night. Terrible. And still looked like the better fighter for at least the first round when she was tossing Pena around and busting her up. She gassed out and she got taken out. Fair play to Pena. But she thinks she's next up. Juliana Pena, I don't know if you'll ever see this, probably not. You're not next up. Again, who's next up is Valentina Shevchenko. Not only is she going to come up and get this belt, but stop forgetting the fact that she's already fought you and finished you. That being said, that being said, we're going to move on to the big boys. But before we do that, we're going to flash back to one of our favorite moments in the sport, one of the biggest rivalries in the sport's history. And you'll see this and know what it is immediately. Take this in and break it down with your little brother.
John, can you hear that, John?
You got your ass whipped today, buddy.
No, I didn't. You're a pussy.
Oh, yeah, you did. I had you on
You're
your back.
such a little. Oh my God.
Back. I had you on your back. You suck, bro.
You're such a little.
Yo, felt so weak. I'm glad to know that.
You're tiny. I'm like, this dude sucks.
Everybody say you're so strong. You're weak.
Okay.
You're a little fat.
You're a John.
Oh my God, you're so weak.
First off, you hit like a if you even hit me.
Yeah. I hit like a I hit like a but I didn't hit you. You didn't.
You didn't, because I didn't even feel it.
Oh man.
I felt Melky's punch more than yours, you little fucking punk.
Oh yeah, you're so mad. I can hear it in your voice.
Okay, John. I can't wait to beat shit out of you.
Yeah, like just like you did today. You're on your butt.
If you really count today as a fight, you're fucking ignorant. You fucking junior college dropout.
Oh, so
you junior college dropout.
Yeah, that's why I have $10 million in the bank.
You junior college dropout. You're still an idiot.
I'm a junior college now. I'm a junior college dropout.
You're still an idiot. You're still an idiot.
I'm a junior college dropout.
You're still an idiot.
I'm a junior
You're still an idiot. You're still. I don't care how much money you got. You are still a fucking idiot.
Yes, I'm sitting on 10 mil, baby. What you sitting on?
You're an idiot.
Shut up.
You're an idiot.
Shut up.
You're an idiot. Yeah, it's money, huh? You're an idiot. No, you didn't. That goes to show your level of education that you count that as a fight.
I whooped your
ass. Well, I'm glad you won this one because you're not winning the next time I get my hands on you.
I whooped your ass just now.
Okay.
I whooped your ass.
Okay, little boy.
You were on your butt.
Okay, little boy.
You were on your butt.
Okay, little boy. You're a punk.
Junior college dropout.
That's what you are.
I got more money than you and your whole family.
Doesn't matter. That's what you are. That doesn't change the fact that, guess what? When this is all said and done, you'll go back to being broke and being a loser as you are.
Yeah, okay.
That's what you're going to do. Sure. That's in your nature. Sure. That's who you are.
Sure.
That's what you're going to do.
Hey,
trust me.
Hey, if you need help paying for college bills, let me know.
Oh, I don't need help. That's the thing. I'm smart. I went to college. I'm smart. So every month, the money I get, I save.
I'm smart. Oh my God.
The money I get, I save. Yours is going to all get used up because you're an idiot.
I save. My house is paid off for it.
Yeah, sure. You're an idiot, John.
Baby.
John, you are an idiot, John.
I don't need to commentate in my part time. I'm doing good.
Hey, I commentate because I like to, and I want a future. What are you going to do, John Jones, after you're done fighting?
I'm stacked up so good I can retire right now.
Yeah, sure, John, whatever. Well, I'm glad you got it now because I'm taking everything on September 27th.
Oh, shut up,
I'm taking everything September 27th.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, are you still there?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. You are just the fakest person. I actually admire that you can actually be this fake. And like when the TV comes on, how you can just change. It's like you're a chameleon.
Hey, listen,
it's awesome.
I'm a professional.
It is unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
The fact that you're a hasn't changed.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how fake you can really be. Like you are just such a pussy. My God, it is amazing. It is amazing. But you know what? Hats off to you. You got a great PR person. Because they do a great job with training you because you are just terrible. You're the scum of the earth. You are a terrible human being, but you can sure turn it on, huh?
Thank you.
God.
Thank you.
I wish they would let me next door so I can spit in your face.
Being like that.
You know I would absolutely kill you if you ever did something like that,
You
right?
could never kill me.
Oh, I bet you I could.
Then you should try, John. You really
Look
should
at that
try,
look in
John.
his
I
eye,
would literally kill you if you spit in my face.
Yeah,
it's like
let's
literally
try that, John.
Literally kill you.
Let's try that, John.
I'm not saying I would fight you. I said I would kill you if
John,
you did some
do you
stupid
think?
shit like that.
So, John, do you think I'm just gonna sit there and let you kill me, John? I mean, really?
Coming from a guy who's 5'10".
Oh, it doesn't matter how tall I am. It does not matter how tall I am. But you're such a...
How much you weigh right now, fat?
Enough. How about you?
I'm about 220, 223.
Good.
Feeling
Thanks.
strong. Man, Daniel, you're weak as today.
Okay. John, I swear to God, I swear to God, I don't want to insult you. I don't want to fight and be petty. But, John, if you really are really basing anything off of what happened today on that floor, you are an idiot.
Yeah, but how come you ended up being on the floor and on your bed?
Because they had all the security guards grabbing me.
Oh.
You're the worst, dude. Like, seriously. You're the worst, dude. You're the worst. But hey, John, watch, John. I'll be a chameleon just like you. I'll do exactly like you did on this last interview. I won't give him anything. I'll do exactly like you did. Because, I mean, remember, I have Olympic-level media training.
Bro, do you think we'll ever get a heavyweight rivalry or a light heavyweight or even a heavyweight rivalry such as this in the future? I mean, this was Money in the Bank.
Not at this level. There's going to be rivals, but I don't think it'll go this deep. This was pretty deep, man. And how the story set up, how it played out again. You know, I don't think we'll ever get something like this again. It can't be repeated, just like the Khabib and Conor thing, just like the Conor and Nate Diaz thing. Those will never be repeated. Those are one-offs, man, because that shit was pure. But this was pure hatred, bro. This is, to me, this beef was on another. This is probably one of the top tier beefs I've seen in combat sports, boxing and whatever, bro. This is
100%. 100%. That being said, I brought this up because one of the things that's been widely talked about now, you know, Francis Ngannou is with the PFL. John Jones is still with the UFC, and he's the heavyweight champion of the UFC now. And the two PFL actually is smart. They put John Jones' training partner, Maurice Green, that, let's be honest, probably didn't deserve to fight for a championship in PFL. But the PFL knew that John Jones was his training partner. John Jones was going to be in his corner. They knew that Francis Ngannou was also going to be in the building, and they actually facilitated, and Ray Cefo's in the video, a face-off between the two. And this isn't as long, but I want to show this to you because I don't know if you've seen this yet, bro. And then break this face-off down. The two have a few words.
That's going to happen. We'll all be here. Over there. You know you don't want no smoke. Huh? You know you don't want no smoke. You don't want no smoke. With the one true king. With the one true king. Listen. I've always been here. I've always been here. service, and I'm gonna die. Anyway, we'll see. We could have solved, but you left. Oh no, you sit back with me. I had to get to the size to a good size to kick your ass. I had to get to a good enough size to kick your ass. Yeah. I took your 3 years. Yeah. I will always be down for fight things, but not because I want to.
So now these two, I don't know if you know this, but you know they were trying to fight in the UFC, but the UFC didn't want to pay him. Now they're not in the same promotion, and they're still acting like they want to fight each other when everybody knows it's not going to happen. The UFC ain't going to co-promote with nobody. That being said, is this even intriguing to you, knowing that these two are facing off when they will never face each other, so to speak?
I think this is the first guy John actually got that fear from, and I think that's why John wants to fight him. John probably hasn't had this fear factor since he fought Rampage Jackson. And that's when he had that prayer, and he came out as some black feathered thing, and he put on that show. He has not had that fear factor, and this is that you could tell when John touched him. You could tell how John's talking to him. You could tell how John, I'm not saying John's scared of him. Don't get anything twisted. It's the fear factor of an outcome that he hasn't felt in a long time that pushes people to the limit of them being their greatest. And I see that, and I think he feels that, and I think that's why he wants this fight. Like, that's my opinion. That's what I see. You can see, I haven't seen John this uneasy, this unconfident. The way he's repeating things and how he's saying it, it's unsure. It's really unsure, man. And John, I think John loves it. He's embellishing it. He's like, yo, I haven't had this in a while, man. I need this.
Well, that's an itch that's probably not going to get scratched with Francis being in the PFL. That being said, Dana White came out and said, "Oh, you know, everybody. It's well documented that Francis is trying to get a boxing match. One of the reasons why he left the UFC." Dana White saying, "Oh, well, you know, we don't do that over here. We don't do that. We don't do the crossover. The Conor McGregor thing, that was a once in a lifetime thing. We don't do that here." Well, Francis has been trying to fight Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and now Dana White is out there trying to make a fight between John Jones and Tyson Fury. And I thought they didn't do that over there, but we're not going to get into that. We know Dana's games, and he's going to promote this. He's going to try to bury somebody else's news and give you his news that is more exciting in his opinion. So we're just going to stick on this same sentiment with the crossover matches between boxing and MMA. Deontay Wilder was on hand at a recent PFL event as well, and he got to talk with the commentator staff, and they asked him the hard-hitting question, so to speak, of if and when he would ever cross over into the cage. And this is what the Bronze Bomber
I know you have options.
had to say.
But let me give you another one, because you're talking about how unstructured that boxing world is.
Bring them to me.
Here in the PFL.
Come on now. I know what you're...
In the only league format in the sport of mixed martial arts, you know your schedule for the year.
Yeah.
We need some fresh heavyweight talent. You got the reach advantage on a lot of these guys. When can we see Deontay Wilder maybe making a crossover in mixed martial arts?
I mean, that's a good question. You know, I've thought about this many times. Even with Agano, you know, we was talking about getting together. I even offer, you know, you always see the MMA guys crossing over, but you never see the fighters, the boxers crossing over. So I said, you know, I wanted to make it more interesting for the fans and just the whole comeback family as in a whole, you know. I said, well, how about you come to my backyard, and after we handle business, I can come to yours and cross over. And I really meant it, you know. So things are still up in the air, but you know, I have seen myself on this side of the field. You know, people will be very impressed of what I can do and my abilities.
You work on your ground game. I got a place for you.
So let's just stick on the subject at hand right here without getting too far off track. What are your thoughts on a Deontay Wilder versus Francis Ngannou in boxing? And then after that, tell me your thoughts on Francis Ngannou versus Deontay Wilder inside of the cage.
Well, Deontay Wilder will probably knock out Francis Ngannou in boxing, and then Deontay Wilder will probably get his ass beat in the cage because Deontay Wilder does not have good footwork. Deontay Wilder probably is going to get kicked, no takedown defense, and he's going to get manhandled by the brute strength of Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
I'm tired of seeing these crossover fights where the MMA goes to box. It doesn't look good. I don't care what you say about Anderson, blah, blah, blah. The guy's 40. They're two different skill sets that require a long amount of training to be good at them. That's just how it is. And the crossover from a striker, a boxer crossing over with no wrestling background is going to look good until he comes across on a wrestler or a jiu-jitsu guy. And in boxing, a heavyweight artist, a knockout artist is going to look good against a fighter that don't let his hands go. But the minute he meets a counterpuncher, it's lights out. So I'm done with him.
I think he covered it pretty well on that. Like if they come over there, they're gonna lose, and if they come over there, they're gonna lose. The people in their sports are likely gonna win. You can't take Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and Anderson Silva and implement that as something that's going to happen often, or Tim Sylvia versus Ray Mercer. It's not going to happen often. Is it possible? Of course. But will it happen often? No. And it's definitely not going to happen very often when you take the guys that are performing at the highest level in their sport. That being said, bro, everybody wants to know who these two heavyweights are fighting. Those two heavyweights being Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Well, one guy that's been rumored to be fighting them both is one Andy Ruiz. Do you have an appetite to see Tyson Fury versus Andy Ruiz or Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz? Go ahead.
Why you got the Photoshop Andy Ruiz?
Because it's funny as fuck.
Come on.
Mr. Ruiz.
Bro, man. That's so messed up. But we can't see those two fight. Usyk, Tyson Fury won't sign the papers to fight Usyk. I don't know what he's scared of. He can unify the belts. He wants Deontay Wilder to beat Usyk, and then if Wilder does beat Usyk, then Tyson could beat Wilder, so it's easier for him to get the belts that way, and I think he thinks Usyk might be a struggle. I don't know why. It's just stupid. Up in the heavyweight division, that's why the heavyweight hasn't been fire since Deontay Wilder lost. I'm not saying that Tyson Fury is not a good boxer. I'm just saying he's not a good draw. Deontay Wilder was a better draw because you knew somebody was going night-night. That's what sold them all, was the knockout. Tyson Fury is just going to box the brakes off of somebody, and it's kind of boring. That's why he goes to antics, licking, and all that crazy shit. He's got great skills. I like the guy, but he's not somebody that you want to put money on and watch and fight.
You don't think the former unified heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz deserves a shot at one of these guys?
He could fight either of them. The better fight is with Deontay Wilder. The boring fight is with Wilder. Huh?
The boring fight is with Wilder?
I think the fight would be pretty boring with Tyson Fury. Because there's no element of knockout there. It's just some punching.
Maybe
Tyson doing his ducking. I think Andy Ruiz got short arms, so he's gonna have to get in and he's gonna get pieced up coming in because Tyson Fury can fucking box. Let's be real. He's gonna box the dickens off this boy, and it's gonna look boring because it's gonna be so one-sided. At least with Deontay Wilder, he's going to get in, and every time Wilder swings, it's like, ooh,
Facts.
You know what I mean? That's what makes that fight exciting, man. And I'm not hating on Fury. Fury's good. He's maybe sometimes too good, you know?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but Saudi Arabia is, I think, it's something challenge that they have over there. I forget the name that they have, but that's what they call it. But they definitely are buying up all these big fights. They're trying to sign all these big boxers, mixed martial art events, all this. They're throwing Saudi money everywhere. And one of the biggest events in boxing history, as far as heavyweight is concerned, is on the dais. Saudi Arabia, and it's almost confirmed fully. Eddie Hearn was on MMA Hour with Errol Hawani, and he confirmed that Deontay Wilder is slated to face Anthony Joshua in December. So he's already verbally confirmed it. It's 99% done. Fury weighed in, said Wilder will kill him. He favors Wilder. But listen, not only is Saudi putting this fight together, throwing the money toward this fight, they're trying to put two other marquee heavyweight fights on the same card. Those fights being one, I repeat, Joshua Wilder. Fight number 2, and likely the main event of the evening, Usyk Fury. And a fight that will likely come before both of those, they're trying to put together Francis Ngannou versus Derek Chisora. So, imagine Francis Ngannou fighting Derek Chisora, making his boxing debut against a former title challenger. I believe Chisora's even had a belt. But then you got Wilder versus Joshua. And then to close out the night, Fury versus Usyk to unify all the belts. I mean, is that a fantasy or what? I mean, if that card happens, oh my gosh, bro, that's going to be one of the biggest nights in boxing history. But aside from that, the fight that's almost guaranteed to happen, that the promoters already said, hey, this is the one, it's pretty much done. Joshua Wilder. Weigh in on those fights, bro.
Well, I'm going to say this. The WBA, Showtime Boxing, the Zone, and all them dudes better get their shit together, because the Saudis got money and they're going to throw it. And they're going to throw whatever. That is nothing to them. These fighters are asking for $50 million, $60 million for the fight. That's chump change to the Saudis, and they're going to throw that just to get it all back. They're going to get it all back and double if that fight happens. In their countries and other countries, the betting, all that. So if they make these fights happen and these fighters see that they can get that kind of money, it could be scary for UFC. It could be scary for a lot of people, because if they see, like I said, that they can guarantee this money, just think of MMA fighters making Francis Ngannou money off every damn fight. You don't think they're going to run there? They're going to break the contracts. The Saudis might pay them out of their contracts. It's getting scary. So if this happens, and I'm a fight promoter for any other organization, I would definitely start trying to figure out how to will and deal my way into getting in the Saudi pocket, so they don't take my fighters and they throw money on my sport too.
I mean, you make a good point there. Obviously, the boxing promoters really have to take notice, because these guys are really independent contractors in boxing, and a lot of them, like your Devin Haney's, they're letting these promoters bid, and these networks bid for their fights. Every new contract, every time. They're not locked down into these contracts like the Ryan Garcia is with Golden Boy and whoever else. That being said, like, the Saudis may have a great relationship with the UFC, and the UFC had Fight Island, and they did all that, everything over there. You know, they have a great relationship with Saudi Arabia. But what's to say, these guys' contracts are going to come due? What if Saudi Arabia decides to create their own league and start throwing Saudi money at these guys? You know what I mean? That's why they got to keep notice. But they have a very good relationship with them. I keep saying that, but that's never a permanent state of affairs. Business is business. But we're going to move on. I don't know if you've seen this, but I know your thoughts on documentaries. But at the Tribeca Film Festival, Israel Adesanya released his documentary, and it's kind of a life documentary. It's not as much as a pure MMA documentary, but obviously with Israel Adesanya being one of the baddest men on the planet, it definitely has a healthy dose of mixed martial arts. Now, obviously, I haven't seen this. I'm speaking based on what others who have and were at the premiere have said, but this is probably going to be coming to Netflix soon. So keep your eye out for Stylebender's documentary. Is this one that you would be interested in seeing?
No. I watched.
No.
I've seen my little small snippets of Stylebender, and I've had enough of that. What I think is interesting, if he talks about it in here, is that he had a girlfriend And
no. We're gonna get to that.
Oh, okay. Well,
Don't do
anyway.
that. Don't do that just yet. And actually, since you brought it up, we'll go ahead and get to it now. Israel Adesanya has a falling out with his significant other, and they were not married. There are no children, but she thinks she's entitled to some of his royalties, a generous portion, because quote unquote they dated for so long. That's it. That's a reasoning behind it. They dated for too long. Go ahead.
By law in that country, if she lived in that house for 3 years, by law, she gets half.
But did she live there?
He said he's got the receipts. So as long as he's got the receipts, he's good. I personally would never. That's crazy. That is a crazy law, bro. Yeah, that's on him on that one. You should have known that.
You said they dated for too long.
Yep.
I don't think anything will ever come from it.
No, but I think what the court should look at is like she was releasing his secret documents. Like she was releasing information about him that he told her not to release. So they should take that in accountability, though. Like that's the whole reason why the relationship is over. It's because she runs her mouth about stuff that she shouldn't be talking about. And that's what the whole thing is based on.
You're probably right about that. Regardless of why they fell out, I don't think she's entitled to a damn dime. But it's not for me. It's not for me to break that down, or you either. So we're just going to go ahead and move on away from this crazy situation. And again, I hope she doesn't get a dime. But we're going to break down a little bit of Do Bronx, who came in as the underdog when Do Bronx got in there and did what Do Bronx does and took out the red hot Beneil Dariush. He was riding high on a very, very impressive winning streak, showing that he's still a major. I don't know. I didn't hear you.
Was it 11 or 14 fight win streak?
I think it was about 11, something like that. In 11. That for Dariush, it might have been 9. I'm not too sure on the number, but it was a long winning streak. And people were on the Dariush train. They saw him as the favorite coming in, and Oliveira gets in there. Yeah, he accepts the takedown because he doesn't care. He's good. He's very, very serviceable on his back. But when he decided to get up, he did, and he got back in Dariush's face, and he closed the show. That being said, he came out later saying that he's going to fight Conor McGregor, or that he's the real champion, not Makhachev. Is that the fight you want to see next? The rematch with Makhachev? Conor McGregor is not going to fight this year. I mean, he didn't enter the USADA pool that would make him eligible to fight this year. Now the UFC can always say to hell with that, but they're probably not going to do that. So what do you want next for Do Bronx?
Let him go to get that rematch. I think he figured something out. I think he gave too much respect in that fight, and it bit him in the ass. I think he underestimated some of the strength. I think he underestimated some things, and he was too confident in his skills, and that bit him in the ass. I think the next fight that he fights, I think he's going to do good standing up, and I think he's going to do pretty good on the ground. Will he win? I don't know. But I think it's going to be a way better fight for him. And to be honest with you, I don't really think Makhachev is all that great.
Here you go. Here you go with the slander.
Why is it slander? It's my opinion, bro. I don't think I think he's good, but I think he's very beatable.
I mean, it's slander because like the guys that you say that aren't that the guys that you say that aren't as good as that people say that they are, and the guys that you say that about are the guys that are the undisputed champions at the time who beat the guys that beat the guys that are at the top of the mountain. You know what I mean? And until somebody knocks them off of there, they're gonna be there, and that's where they're at. But at the end of the day, I am intrigued for a rematch between Oliveira and Makhachev, just because I don't see anybody else in the division giving Makhachev the kind of fight Oliveira is capable of, especially on a good night.
Yeah, on the ground, especially. That's
right.
That's where it's key for Makhachev, and for Oliveira for a lot of his fights is how he beat a lot of the top guys is because they were scared to go down there. That's the difference maker. But if somebody can catch these guys standing up, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I'm not disrespecting them when I say I don't think they're all that good. I just think there's a big hole in their game that people with a lack of a skill can't exploit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And with the Gaethjes, the Dustin Poiriers, and even Chandler might even have a chance against Makhachev if it's up. If they can beat him up, they got it. But that's MMA is 3 different dimensions.
That's a tall task. Yeah.
It's a tall task because that's what he's gunning for. And how good can you defend it? And that's the difference maker. That's what makes him good. Until somebody, I think Oliveira has a little bit better stand-up. I just think he looked at it different and he underestimated himself and his skills, and it got the best of him in that fight. He got in a position he shouldn't have been in. And I guarantee this time he's not going to be willing to give that guy the ground. He's going to stand and bang him a little bit more, wear him down a little bit more, and then take advantage.
People say that Alexander Volkanovski is the biggest threat to take Makhachev's title, and I still think it's Oliveira. Moving on, though. Moving on, I don't know if you had a chance, and I know you didn't. You didn't have a chance to see Cannonier versus Marvin Vettori, but Vettori came out there and hurt Cannonier in the first round, and then Cannonier basically turned him into a punching bag for 4 rounds. Vettori has a brick for a head. He's never been finished, and he's never gonna be finished after what I saw on Saturday night. I think it was Saturday. Yeah, last Saturday night. The beating that Vettori took was uncanny. And I wouldn't like it to the like there's been fights where I see guys getting beatings like the Edson Barboza
Ryan
versus
Ortega,
Khabib and Ortega versus Holloway. There are those fights out there where guys are just getting the fuck beat out of them and you feel bad. But even though Vettori was getting the absolute shit beat out of him, the way that he was taking the shots, I didn't feel so bad. I mean, I don't know. It kind of sounds like messed up, but he just ate him, bro. Like you can hit this guy,
like he can just take it.
Right? You can hit him in the face with a wooden Louisville Slugger, and he spit toothpicks back at you, bro. Like he can just take the shots. That being said, Vettori did take a massive beating and a massive loss to a 39-year-old Jared Cannonier. Vettori's lost to the better ones, the Whitakers, the Adesanyas. Do you think he's done fighting for belts in the UFC?
Yes, he's pretty much at the Derek Bronson level now. He's the put over. He's the gatekeeper at 5.
Gatekeeper.
You beat him, you're going. That's what he's a gatekeeper now. That's what he is.
You hit the nail. You hit the nail. Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. At this point, because he's lost to the better fighters in the division, he is a certified gatekeeper. That being said, he got in there with a guy trying to get past that gate, and then Roman Dolidze saying his fight before this, and Roman almost got past that gate, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And then you put Vettori in there with another former title challenger. In Cannonier, and Cannonier showing that he still got that work. Again, even though Hamzat hasn't been seen or heard of since missing weight, we know he's a player at 185. We do know that. Moving on, UFC's always bringing out the star-studded celebrities and former fighters. And they actually caught a picture of 2 of the welterweight royalty in the UFC. And because these 2 are together, I wanted you to weigh in on who you think is the greatest welterweight of all time. Is it Usman or is it George St. Pierre?
You can flip a coin, and because they both fought the same people. They had the same amount of fucking fighters that they fought double. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, by numbers. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's a coin toss, man. Because St. Pierre fought 2 guys double times, right?
Yeah, he fought
1 3 times.
He fought Fitch twice. He fought I'm trying to get these off of my head. Yeah, he fought Matt Hughes twice. He fought BJ Penn. Well, I think he only fought BJ once.
Yeah, BJ
Penn. Yeah, he's had Sarah twice. Yeah, he's had his fair share of rematches.
Yeah.
Yes, you're
Usman
correct.
did the same thing. He fought
Masvidal.
Masvidal, and I can't get the other
Covington.
name out of my head right now. Covington. He fought him twice.
Edwards.
So it's like Edwards twice. So he's got 3 that he. So it's a coin toss, man. They're both great. I'm not going to say one's greater than the other. They're both good. They're both, to me, in the top 10. Probably squeezing up one into the top 5. You could put either one of those in the top 5 and probably be able to live with it. You know what I'm saying? They'll probably say GSP over Usman, but it's either. Well, I can go with either one. I'm not gonna pick them like that, man. It's a coin.
You think GSP would take out Usman heads up, both of them being in their prime?
No, I think it'll go to the end. I think it'll go to the card
decision.
I don't think it'll be one guy dominating one. I think it'll be a damn good fight because they both can wrestle. It could turn into a stand and bang fight because they both got good ground games. It'll be a Covington fight all over again, and it's just sheer will.
You give GSP a nod in the striking?
I give them both. I give Usman power in the striking, but I give GSP slickness and being able to use his feet more. And now more that I think about it, GSP probably could slip a kick in there because he's
more
susceptible
versatile
to that kick. Yeah, and that could be the changer. But also, Usman's got that. If he keeps his head up when he throws that shot, he can hit the target. But if he puts his head down in the second fight, he's missing.
You mentioned kicks, and both of these men both looking dapper here as the UFC, caught them together at this event. But mentioning kicks, based on this photo, do you think Kamaru Usman has recovered well from that kick from Leon?
And I think somebody photoshopped this picture, bro. Because I wasn't going to say nothing, but I'm like, why is his head look like it's mushed in? Like, is this another one of your Photoshop pictures, bro? Yes. I seen it, but I was trying to act like I
was like, is he gonna look at this? This guy's head is flat.
Yo, I was letting it slide. Like, man, I'm just gonna play like this dude head don't look like a milk dud. Like, how you see a milk dud on one side, bro? That's what it looked like, man. Man, you tripping on that, man. I saw it. I was about to start dying, but I was like, I'm gonna keep it professional. Maybe he didn't do that, but this is crazy, bro.
Gonna run through just a few fight announcements really quick. Pick who you think has the upper hand in these fights. Yeah, I know. We're about out of here. So we'll get to the first one real quick, just to schmooze our way through this. The first fight announcement is Sandhagen versus Nurmagomedov. That is a big fight coming up. Keep your eye on that. Major title implications. Next you got Max Holloway getting in there with Korean Zombie. This is going to be Korean Zombie's retirement fight.
God.
He should already be retired, in my opinion. But it's neither here nor there. Who am I to tell this man he can't have one more against Max? Even though he's going to get his ass beat.
This is going to get ugly for Zombie.
Yeah, very. And the last of the bunch being a heavyweight tilt between Sergey Spivak and Cyril Gane. A big deal because Spivak can get you down, and he's really good on the ground as far as submitting guys. It'll be a big test for Gane, although I think Gane's more athletic and more strong.
Right here. It's a must see.
Yeah.
Because I need to see if Cyril Gane if he's the real deal or he was just a hype train. Like, if he gets dominated on the ground this fight, then I don't want to hear no more about this guy until he fixed that big ass hole in his game.
This is going to be in Paris, in Cyril Gane's backyard, not far, probably in the same venue that he took out Bam Bam Tuivasa. We'll see what happens, but yeah, it's going to have major implications going into this. And bro, I know you got to get out of here. I do too. So we're going to get to the very, very last thing, and that's going to be one of my favorite things, and that is the PFL, the BKFC bare knuckle boxing. And I just got one question here to ask you pertaining to this. The big two, in my opinion, are Mike Perry and Lorenzo Hunt. Now, Mike Perry, he's beating all the names, the Luke Rockholds, the Michael Venom Pages, he's beating those guys. But Lorenzo Hunt is collecting all the belts, and now he's trying to get the heavyweight belt, And Alan Belcher, a guy who's holding the belt, wants to fight everybody but him. Who is the face of bare knuckle boxing? Is it Mike Platinum Perry or is it the juggernaut, Lorenzo Hunt?
The face is the juggernaut. The mouth is Mike Perry. So it's a double-headed monster, and they're pulling that sport along. I just introduced this to one of my buddies who at school, and he was like, "Yo, man, dude, they get down in there." And I was like, "Look at Lorenzo Hunt." And he watched Hunt's fights, and then I told him about Perry. He watched Perry's fights. He's like, "Yo," and I'm like, "Yeah, man." And I told him to watch the first fight, the first ever fight, and he was like, "Man, yeah." So it's coming a long way. I think they both. Lorenzo Hunt laid the groundwork. He is the face of that, hands down. But Perry is the mouth. Like the clout is coming off Perry's mouth, like for real. Because Perry is a bigger name than Hunt. But Hunt carried that organization.
You think that's because Perry had a bigger platform than Hunt's had?
Yes, that's exactly why. But when you go and you look up bare knuckle knockouts and stuff, you see a bunch of Hunt's videos. You know what I'm saying? Thanks. But it's riding off the back of Perry's fucking notoriety.
We saw Mike Perry crack Luke Rockhold's teeth in there. It was disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
But that being said, don't sleep on Lorenzo Hunt. Lorenzo Hunt's got the gift of gab as well, and he backs it up in the ring. Yeah. And he's got his antics. You know, we saw the Hector Lombard. We saw the crap. I can't even remember buddy's name. He fought Nick Diaz back in the day. Joe Riggs, the tomato. You know, we saw. So we see we saw his antics, and we know that he's getting people excited about bare knuckle boxing. Like, I want to see this guy fight Lorenzo Hunt. I cannot wait to see him fight again. I'm not trying to throw shade to Mike Perry. Love Mike Perry, and I like to see him fight too. But in my opinion, the guy that's putting me in front of the TV or my computer or whatever I'm watching bare knuckle boxing on is Lorenzo Hunt. He is a jewel, a gem. Like, that guy is built for this. Like, he's built different. Yeah. He's a dog. He's a savage, bro. Like, and I don't think anybody, even when he was in there with Mike Richmond, and Richmond had him kind of had him on the ropes, dropped him, and he got up and showed the heart of a fucking champion and handled his damn business and got him out of there. What do you say? Mike Richmond went to sleep in there, and he did.
Sleep in there. Hey, I'm gonna say this real quick so we can get out of here.
Yeah,
Lorenzo Hunt is the guy that, if I had to pick out of any of the top fighters to meet in the back alley to get in the fight with, Lorenzo Hunt would be the last one I pick. That's out of John. I'm not just throw shade to anybody, but just when he hits people, it's different for me, bro. It's just like, man, that they just sound different. Maybe other guys need to hit somebody with their bare fist, but man, when he hit, I just feel like, man, I am glad I am not that guy, bro. Like, I've never said that about any fighter getting knocked out except for that guy. Every time he hits him, I'm like, man, I'm glad. Like, glad that ain't me.
And that's straight knuckle too. There's no gloves. There's no padding. Lorenzo Hunt is coming. Well, he's a fighter. Let's put it that way. He's a fighter. You don't want to get in there with him, bro. It's been real. I had a lot of fun with this show today. I know we got a little heated earlier, but we always reel it back in.
Bro.
Oh, always can't wait to do this again. Anything else you want to drop on the people before we get out of here?
Nah, I ain't got nothing to say, man. I ain't got nothing to say. Love your loved ones. Have a good night, man. Say you love them. Wake up in the morning and do your thing. That's about it.
Well put. Hey, guys, like, share, comment, subscribe. Make sure you show up to the next one. And until next time, that's right. Stay frosty.
Stay frosty.